You want to start?
It's not 7 yet.
Oh, well, may have some people watching on YouTube, so I may want to let them know what we're doing. Oh, we don't have anybody watching yet. But in case you're watching it later, we're waiting to start a live stream. Please excuse my voice, please. But we're starting a live stream for our private group on Facebook. Just getting some Q&A going. Because a lot of the people in there are just getting started in real estate, and we want to answer any questions they have. So we want to get some FaceTime with them and get those questions answered.
All right, here we go. And it's recording, so we can send out the recording.
Okay, good, because I know she had asked about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks better.
It's so.
It's like so. I know up close, like God.
All right. This one doesn't show you.
Was showing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Oh snap! All right, I'll get in here. All right, so y'all, hold on, bear with us. All right, set this up. All right.
We're just gonna be waiting on a few more people to join before we fully get started. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for mute, like to automatically mute it.
Why? So maybe mute everyone. Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna figure it out.
We'll just tell them to get on. Audio.
Yeah. But there, that's what we're on.
Oh, okay. Automatically join. Okay.
But no, I don't want to. Hold on. Hey, for the people in here, you guys can see the chat. Can you guys see it? All right, cool. All right. Oh man. So the next time we do this, we'll have it. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Got you. Yes.
What did you click on?
There we go. Got it now. All right. All right. So, boop. There you go.
I muted
it. I muted it. And then, all right, so you go here, and then that pops up. Okay, that's cool.
We're just going to give it a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to just go ahead and get started. There's a few more people that accepted. Excuse my voice, y'all. I just came back from vacation, and I was parasailing, and I dove off a cliff on the same day. So all that screaming damaged my voice. So excuse my voice, please. I sound like a whole man out here.
All right. Oh, we got some people on YouTube live as well. That's cool.
Oh,
no. All right, cool. All right, after a minute, we're just gonna get started. I'm not about to sit around and just wait because we're gonna need all the time we can get because we got quite a few things to talk. Well, I'll say the last 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. We're gonna be talking about some special things that we're gonna be doing for the group. And I know you guys are gonna like it. You're gonna love it. I guarantee it. So it's got a few minutes, and then we'll. All right, let's go. We'll get started.
Oh, Jordan is his hand raised. I'm muted for now.
Hey, Jordan, you got a question? If you got a question, type it in the chat. It looked like you raised your hand like you had something to say. Yeah, if you guys got questions, you can go ahead and start typing them. We're probably just going to start with just giving you guys a little background about us and how we got started, what we're doing today. Yeah, we got a couple people on both YouTube and the live stream from the Facebook group, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm simply a sponge. All right, Trent.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the people that's just joining, I know I sound like a man today, but I just got back from vacation and I went parasailing and I jumped off a cliff into the ocean on the same day. So all of that screaming, it damaged my voice box. So yeah, I sound like a whole man up in these streets.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
If you have questions, if you're on YouTube or if you're on a live stream, just go ahead and type them out. We went ahead and muted everyone upon entry into the live stream, so we'll have a whole bunch of background noise. We're just gonna go ahead and get started. We have a few people already. I want to talk about how we got started in real estate and some of the things we're working on currently.
So, how we got started. So, this we can go back to PV. When I was doing,
you don't have to go all the way back there, but you can.
You sure?
Yeah,
because that's how it kind of just fell into it.
Go ahead.
All right, so we're at PV, and I was doing quite a few things myself. Primarily, I was doing photography, like fashion photography, and I was, getting published in magazines and all that stuff. And then, like the business took a turn, like a left turn that I didn't like. So we quit that business. And I was like, I've been working on this business for about, 5 or 6 years, where she kind of just stuck by me through everything. And she had been talking about real estate the entire time that we were in college. But me not knowing anything about real estate, I was under the impression that you had to have a ton of money. You have to have super like a 800 credit score and all that kind of stuff to do it. So I said, you know what? I mean, just give it a shot. So I just started doing research about it. And the first thing I found was Subject 2. We actually found Subject 2 before wholesaling. And we went and got a whole mentor to teach us how to do it.
Yeah, let me tell you about Marcus. I was pregnant with our second daughter at the time. He drugged me to this lady's house the day before I was going to deliver. I'm like, really? Like, you want to do this now? Like, we need to be preparing to get the baby out. But anyway. What's up? Hey, CJ. So yeah, we got into it doing Subject 2 first. Mm-hmm. And we went from Subject 2, and I was like, well, Subject 2 is cool, but I want to get some faster money.
Fast money. That's exactly what she said. She didn't like that whole rental situation where you get between $200 and $400 a door per month. I was trying to quit my job. So yeah.
That's how we kind of just fell into wholesaling.
So,
hey, Courtney, that's Courtney. Hey, Courtney, how are you? Anyway, okay, so let's get back. So that's how we got started in real estate. We got started with Subject 2, then we moved on to wholesaling, and then even from wholesaling, I wanted even more money. And real estate is truly my passion. So I really just wanted to get in and make things pretty. Turn something that could have been someone else's trash truly into someone else's dream. So that's how we got started. So anyway, let's get to y'all questions. Trent had a question about you want to get into wholesaling. Where were you saying steps into this process from lessons learned? Okay. Okay, so the people that are on live stream can't see his question. Yeah, so Trent's question is, so I want to get into wholesaling. What would you say are the steps to this process based off lessons learned?
Okay. So
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, when we first got into wholesaling, we didn't have a mentor or anything, unfortunately. That was kind of our fault. But anyway, so one of the first lessons we learned was to make sure you're working off of a good list.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we first started our very first time, we purchased a list, didn't
No,
we?
no, no.
No.
The very first time we went off of that steward title stuff.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And we got so much return mail, y'all. We wasted all our money.
All of it. I don't think there was one good lead from that list.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a ton of money, but it was enough for you to get mad. It was like $350.
Yeah.
I was like, we just kind of wasted this money, and we sent out all this stuff. Well, it was, I guess when you factor in the mailing house and all that kind of stuff, it was more than $350. I can't remember the exact amount, but we have to factor in the list, and then with like the stamps, and then the like the actual printing and all that kind of stuff. So it was quite a bit.
Yeah. And then at one point we were sending off 4,000 letters a month, and sending out that big of a quantity, like you have the potential of losing like $3,000 a month if you don't get a lead from it. So you want to make sure that your list is very good, and also make sure that you understand the way the numbers work in real estate, because you don't want to just be out here putting deals on the contract just to say you got a deal on the contract. Because when you put a deal on the contract with that homeowner, you want to make sure that you're delivering what you promised them, which is a sale. Because sometimes you can put it in a contract and you can't find the end buyer because you got it for too high.
Right.
So you want to understand how to estimate repairs, because that's going to be important to you, not so much as a wholesaler because you're not doing the repairs, but it's going to be important to your end buyers. So they're going to calculate that into the cost when buying it from you.
Yeah. So in the quickest way, I'm going to tell you guys right now, the quickest way to get blackballed, like seriously, like wrote off in real estate in any market, is to screw up your numbers.
Yeah.
So like now, I mean, we're in a lot of groups where we see investors, they'll put a property in there and they will increase the after repair value and decrease the repairs.
Yeah.
Like that'll get someone to hire the Sopranos to beat you up.
So yeah, that's understanding the numbers and make sure you're being fair. It's a lot, like Marcus says, a lot of wholesalers that's inflating the numbers to work for them. So they're inflating the after repair value, and they're decreasing the amount of money it's going to take to do the repairs. Like sometimes we'll see like something being marketed like, okay, $100,000 house, and it's only going to need 5,000 in repairs, and then you get the picture like a total tear down.
Yeah.
Like, come on now, like you have to be realistic when you send those things out. Otherwise, after sending out a few, people are not going to even look at your stuff once they see it in their inbox.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that come through our inbox. First of all, if it says like buy and hold, I don't even look at it, because
but if some people are into buy and holds, they'll buy it. But
a lot of those
but the numbers are inflated. Usually, when you get some in your inbox and it says a buy and hold, it's because they got it at a very high price and they're just trying to sell it sometimes close to market value versus being a wholesale type deal.
So another thing that we noticed, and we kind of stopped, was mailing, period. We did that for quite a while, doing the whole $3,000 a month budget, and did not get a deal whatsoever. If I can be honest with you guys for a minute, so the very first deal we got was wholesale deal, and I was literally handwriting these things. So I would do like 250 a week. So I would write them all out, handwrite these things, and Shakey would fold them, stamp them, and I would go to the post office and mail them out. So we did that for about maybe 3 weeks to a month and got our first deal. And then after that, it was like, okay, cool. So we were revving them up. And we went to 4,000. And I kid you not, we went a whole year paying $3,000 a month and did not get a deal.
And we were stuck trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with us. What are we doing wrong? We even switched from postcards to letters.
Yeah.
And we tried it all. We tried it all and didn't get a deal for a whole year. I mean, that's what we tell a lot of people. If you're not willing to, Stress how you remember. If you're not willing to like put some money in and potentially not make it back, don't get in real estate. But if you do, if you stick with it, you will make your money back like 10 times fold.
Yeah. So, and that led to what we do now for the bulk of our deals, which is cold calling. So I was sitting there and I was mailing them, and I was getting all the return mail, and I was just like I heard of the term skip tracing, and I was like, well, like you're supposed to skip trace your return mail. And I was like, okay, we start to do that. And before I even picked up the phone to call anybody, I was just like, why don't we just skip trace the entire list? Why are we just skip tracing what comes back? If the point of the whole thing is to get sellers on the phone, why aren't we starting there? And then when we started calling people, that's when everything changed. So Shakey started calling, and then she started to see results. And then we started hiring other people to do it. And then from there, that's when everything kind of just took off.
And ramped up. Yeah.
So I guess to recap lessons learned, it would be like to get your numbers right, make sure you're doing that right. Because the last thing you want is have a deal that you can't sell, because it's not just you that you're affecting. I mean, you have that seller's hopes up. So they're thinking that you've come in and saved them from whatever situation they're in. Unbeknownst to them, they're still stuck in it, and you just tied their house up for however long that contract was. We're not about that. So luckily, you guys have us. We're gonna start teaching you guys how to keep from doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So make sure you're getting a good list.
Yeah.
Know how to do the calculations for the numbers, and don't inflate the numbers.
Right.
So those are lessons learned. We never inflate our numbers. Like we always like to be fair with everything we do. So if we ever inflated, like we didn't know we were doing that. Like, but I doubt it, because we always pretty conservative.
We kind of overestimate everything. Even the ARV, we kind of go over.
Yeah.
Repairs definitely go.
Yeah, over. We kind of shock ourselves when we come to sell. Like we're like, oh, we thought I was gonna get this amount, and we get way more than what we thought.
Yeah, the last one we thought we were gonna get.
Well, actually, we thought
35 or 45, something like that.
No, so with the last one, our lender like calculated our ARV to be 135, y'all. He only lent based on 135. Keep in mind, your lender lends 70% of. That's my dad. Is that my dad? I think so. Your lender only lends 70% of what they think the ARV is. So he only lent us 70% of the 135. So pretty much their entire rehab, like the whole rehab cost, we had to pull out our own pocket, because he only pretty much gave us money to purchase. But we ended up selling the house for 175.
Yep.
We put it on the market for 165. Somebody offered us 175, and it only stayed on the market a few hours.
Yeah, so in 5 hours, we were over asking, and there were two buyers that basically got into a bid war, and they just drove the price up, and we just sit back and watched it go up and up and up, and then accepted one.
Yeah, but anyway, we don't want to keep talking about us. Like, give us some more questions. What other questions y'all have?
I know. Yeah. Who, but somebody said that they were writing.
Antoinette, I know you have some questions, girl. You say you have questions.
So you say, how do you go about creating this? Good question. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My question is, when you have a deal, like as a wholesaler, what kind of information do you need to present the buyer with?
Okay, so when you have a wholesale deal, you want to present the buyer with as many pictures as you can when you put it out there. You want to run the numbers again and give them you don't always have to give them what you think the ARV is, but it's always a good practice to give them what you think the ARV is, and also whatever you think the repair cost is. So that's and the address.
Yep.
That's pretty much, but don't give the address out unless you have it on the contract. Because if you don't have it on the contract and you put the address out there, it's some shady people in this business. They will go put it on the contract before you can get the contract signed for like maybe $500 more, because they know how much you're asking for it.
Yeah.
So again, to recap, for the people on YouTube, her question was, when you have a wholesale deal, what information do you want to give the buyers that you present the deal to? So again, you want to get as many pictures as you can. You want to put whatever you think the ARV is, and also whatever the repairs is, and of course whatever you're asking for it. So if you want to make $5,000 on a property that you put on the contract for 100, you want to present it to your buyers list for 105. Or sometimes you want to present it as 108 because some people are going to try to top you down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it.
That's it.
So if you have it on the contract and you give them the address, they're going to go see it themselves anyway.
Yeah.
Either with you or if like you put a lockbox on it or something like that, just give them the lockbox code. If you trust them, they can go in. There's very few people we trust like that. So we typically like to go walk the property with them and they can determine for themselves what it's worth. But like I said, we like to tell people to make sure you have your numbers up front. So when they get there and they're walking, they're not looking at you all crazy like, okay, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. It's going to take way more work than what they were saying, or their ARV is way less than what you sent me. So it's kind of to keep yourself out of situations like that.
Okay. And so Antoinette, does that answer your question?
Yeah,
okay.
It does.
Okay. And so I've wholesale a deal to where I didn't even have pictures before because it was occupied. Sometimes you just have people on your buyers list. If your numbers were good, they know they're going to be able to turn a profit no matter how it looks. So you just want to give as much information as you have. That way, when you present it to your buyers list, when they go take a look at it, it's no issue. So Marcus is going to answer Jordan's question about creating a list. And Trent, I'll get to yours next about the taxes.
Okay, so when I create a list, I like to do it manually. So every time we do a list, we like to go like to public records and like search like.
Antoinette, can you mute your phone again,
if
please?
I can do a screen share. If I can do a screen share, I can show you exactly what we do. Hold on, let me figure this out for you guys. And you will probably have to do the same thing over there on YouTube because the people on YouTube will be able to see the screen share. But
they can't see the screen share if I do it on YouTube.
Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. Let me figure this out. I got you.
It was Chrome down there.
Oh. All right. Let me. So.
The tab over.
I'm trying to move this over. Okay, there we go. All right. I'll just do it on this. So what I do is I'll go to like whatever county you're in. So I'll do like Harris County, Kirk out here. And then I'll go to like the real property. And like if you go like to instrument type, like you can see all the different types they have here. Like you can find good leads in bankruptcy. You can find them in like quit claim deeds. Hold on.
And while Marcus is looking for that, we also have another treat for y'all at the end of this thing, at the end of this live stream, that's gonna help you create even more lists.
I'm gonna show them an even better way to do that. I gotta move this probate courts. Now I'm showing you guys this because I love you. Now this is my my favorite type of lead. So I'll just go here and I'll go like the past month. What's the date between? And then just do a search. I don't put anything in any of these fields. And that way you get all the probate. So the reason why we like probate so much is because the owners typically don't have any ties to the house. It's just something that they inherited. Most of the time they have to sell the house in order to settle debt and stuff like that. So they're just willing to get off of it as quickly as possible. Also, when they inherit the house, or if it's in a will or something like that, they're responsible for like the taxes and stuff like that. And some people just don't want to put up with that. So we like to curate all this. So I will go here and then like you will see all the different so this one actually has a will. And I'll just go through here. I think I have to log in.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, y'all.
Yeah. But the reason why we like this is because a lot of people don't like doing all this work. So we get like, it's kind of like the low hanging fruit. Like the more work it takes to like get leads, the less competition you have. And that's exactly why we don't mind doing it. I'll sit there and do this all day because I know that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get these people where other people aren't. Like this is like fresh records.
Oh wait, we have
even
some
when
people
you
that say they're trying to join, but they can't join.
okay. Even when you use like list services, the data is a little dated, so it can be a week to a month old. But when you go this route, you go straight to it coming from whatever county. So even if this wasn't Harris County, it can be like I don't know any counties in Dallas or wherever you live, whatever county you in, just type the county, then county clerk.
Trent, what's some
and you'll
counties
get
in
it.
Dallas? I think it's Torrance County, Dallas. I think I had a lead one
But
time.
so if I click this now, it's not going to show anything because I'll have to log in and all that
Okay.
kind of stuff. But when you click on these documents right here, it tells you everything. It gives you the deceased person. It gives you the applicant. It gives you the person it was signed over to. Sometimes their phone numbers. There's definitely addresses. And so what we do is I'll take this route, go in here where the will is, or the application letters, because it has a name and the address for that person. And I'll just make a spreadsheet out of them, or our virtual assistant will make a spreadsheet out of them, and then I'll take that list and go skip trace them.
Yeah.
And then when you skip trace, you get all the phone numbers, and then when we get all the phone numbers, we hand it over to our cold callers, and they just go down the list calling all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he said Dallas County. Yeah, Michaela's on the phone. Yeah, I had a lead. I have people eyes and ears everywhere. My best friend lives in Dallas now, and I had her looking for leads for me as one in Dallas County. Man, we haven't missed that lead.
Yeah,
Michaela, how much they were asking? $250. And
yeah,
I looked at the house. I couldn't
ridiculous.
believe it. The house is worth like $600,000. But anyway, so Trent had a question on YouTube. How do taxes work on that profit you make on wholesaling? Do you just file at the end of the year? Yes, with us, we file all of our profits that taxes for all of the profits that we made at the end of the year on our taxes. Kind of like Houston, 3-4 years. Yes, that's exactly right. Dallas is booming,
Yeah.
and I said, girl, if you see anything else in that area, let me know.
So I hope that answered your question about how to create the list. At the end, I'm going to show you a different way to do it that's kind of automated. And I like them because they're as close to being current as it gets. They're like maybe roughly 24 hours off. That's not too bad.
And I throw another nugget out there. Something easy. Marcus talk about low hanging fruit, but the thing about that is you're gonna pay for it for one. And also, everybody else is going to have that same list that you're getting. But anyway, so if you're in Houston area, they have something called Foreclose Houston. And that'll give you a list of probates as well as foreclosures. And that's mortgage foreclosures and tax foreclosures.
Yep. Get the whole list.
So
Jordan, are you good with that? Did I take care of you?
Said, now I'm an expert wholesaler. How do I proceed as a sole proprietorship or with the LLC, pros and cons? Okay, so we typically tiptoe on this because we don't want to give out any legal advice because we're not lawyers. But I will say that we proceeded with an LLC. Is Alicia on? Can she help us out with this one? We proceeded with an LLC.
After we did a couple of deals.
After
we
we
waited
done a
till
couple
we
of deals.
were profitable, like pretty profitable, before we went and filed the LLC. And the reason is because you can't go dipping into that money. Once you incorporate, it's a wrap. Like you can no longer use like any personal funds to fund the business. You gotta have a completely separate bank account. Like everything is separated. So you can't, unless you write yourself a check or something like that, you can't use the business to pay for any personal expenses, and you can't use personal money to pay for any business expenses.
Exactly.
And starting out, I'm sure you're not going to have a lot of money to keep that business flowing initially in order to maintain that business. So we waited. We didn't incorporate until we had like $60,000 in the bank, and then we're like, okay, that should be enough for us to be able to make it without having to go dipping back into that account.
Okay. He said, so we have a really good friend that's CPA, and you're CPA, right, Alicia? Yeah. And we go to her with these kind of questions for tax purposes or whatever. She always say, girl, y'all not going to have me in jail. But anyway, so Alicia, his question was, so now that he's expert wholesaler. And he's just, saying, for instance, just throwing a question out there. So now he's an expert wholesaler. How does he want to proceed? Does he want to do a sole proprietorship, or does he want to do an LLC? And what are some of the pros and cons for that? Now, girl, you said you was here. Hello, Alicia.
Can y'all hear us?
Yeah, we can hear y'all now. Trey, can you hear it on the other computer?
I'll turn it up. Oh, I muted it.
Okay, go ahead, Alicia. Oh, turn it down a little bit.
Sorry.
So I would recommend to anybody to set their business up as an LLC. The benefit of the LLC is that it gives you separation and protection from your personal assets being commingled with your business assets in case you were to ever come into some type of litigation or have some kind of claim against your business. Okay. For tax purposes, an LLC is a pass-through entity, which means that the corporation itself is not taxed, but those taxes would go on your same 1040 form that you would file anyway. So it doesn't make your taxes more difficult, but it gives you a little bit of legal protection where you can clearly outline what are the assets of the business and what are your personal assets.
Yeah. And hit her up, y'all. She has her own business. Alicia, throw your little piece out there.
Go ahead and plug.
If you have more questions, you can contact me. My business number is 281-410-1404. Again, that's 281-140-1404. Or you can find me at indepthfinancialaccounting.com, indepthfinancial.com.
All right. One time for the plug. See, that's what we're talking about, collaborators. Yep. And also, just putting a little thing out there for them. They're also our gap funders for our deals. Remember we were saying sometimes like our lender be on some trip and stuff, like he don't want to lend us what we know the ARV is. We're like, hey, we don't want to tie up all our money. Y'all got an extra 10,000, whatever y'all want to lend, we pay them interest on their money. So if y'all ever want to get into it, maybe y'all may be in a situation y'all don't want to tie up a bunch of y'all money. The deal is good. They're gonna have to evaluate the deal on their own too. They don't want to take on just any deal. They want to take on the good ones where they know they're gonna be able to pull their money back out, and you're gonna be able to pay them interest in a timely manner. So yeah. Any more questions?
You said we set you guys up to win. We weren't playing when we said that this is the winner circle. We got pretty much everything you need in this group to get that first deal. That's our goal. We just to start out, just make sure that everybody can get that first one, because all it takes is that one, and I promise you that you'll be hooked.
And Jordan, you didn't throw your plug out there. Yeah, Jordan's a realtor, y'all. He's a licensed realtor in Houston. We tried to work on some deals with Jordan, but our what is it? Our stipulations are whatever, a little too stringent sometimes, and we couldn't quite get it done. But Jordan is a realtor as well, so Jordan should have put your plug out there, man. Yeah, first deal is the goal. Trent put on our YouTube, first deal is the goal, and that's absolutely correct. I feel like once you get that first deal, you get that momentum going, and you just want to reinvest, and that's what we do. We reinvest all of our money, except for the money we put in personally at the beginning. So we pull our own personal money back out, but any money that the business made, the business take care of itself from that.
Yep. I guess like the good thing. That's not true, Jordan.
No, not true at all.
That's not true.
Jordan showed us. We were like, Jordan, hey, we're here. We need to see this house today, and Jordan was on it. So yeah, Jordan, one time for the plug.
Yeah. So So the thing that I like about wholesaling so much, we were talking about this earlier, is the fact that you can wholesale in areas where you do not live. So we're of course we're investing in Houston right now, but we're starting to form a basis in other areas where we don't live. Like Shakey was just saying, her best friend Kaylin is online and she's in Dallas, and we never seen that property before. And I had that gone through, we would have got that on the contract, and Kaylin would have been the one finding a buyer. Never seen the property, never been there or anything like that, and we still been able to get that deal done.
Yeah.
And that's called virtual wholesaling. So we've done a couple deals like that.
Yeah, even in New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans. We had never seen that property, and I just hopped on what was it, Bigger Pockets. And
I found it, lady.
I thought,
man, I found it, lady. Yeah, we don't even.
Pockets.
No, but it wasn't on Bigger Pockets, but I found it.
Okay, you got it.
Give me my credit. Anyway, yeah, we don't even know nobody live in New Orleans. Like he had somebody that he knew, and they wanted to sell their property. They were from New Orleans. They wanted to sell their dad's property, and well, okay, I'll say we hopped on Bigger Pockets.
So there you got it.
Anyway, we hopped on Bigger Pockets, and we found a realtor out there, and it was awesome. She was like, what the lady's charging us?
Just 3%.
3% of the deal. Normally when somebody find your buyer, they be wanting to split it 50-50. I'm like, 3%? Cool. Yes, please find us a buyer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, and that's something that we're going to be heavily getting into. I know it's 2 markets that we're looking at for sure that we're going to start wholesaling in. Like I said, never seen these properties before. One of these places I've never even been in my life. And I like that because it makes it, like one of them lifestyle business. I know one of the things that's very popular now is like Amazon and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why they're so popular is because you can do it anywhere in the world. And I think that real estate and virtual wholesaling would be a lot bigger if people knew that you can do the same thing with that. And the profits are a lot bigger and they come a lot quicker too. So it's kind of like the drop shipping of real estate. You don't have to, you never own the property. You don't need a whole lot of money to acquire these properties. Pretty much, you really only need marketing costs, just enough to market for the property. You find a buyer and you go to closing and you collect your check, and that's it. You've never seen this property before. You don't know much of anything about it other than the research that you've gotten and information that you've gotten from the seller, and that's about it. So because I can't remember who, but someone put in the group that they were worried about their area because it was so expensive. So instead of you investing there, you can find an area where the cost is a lot less.
But just getting started, sometimes I think they probably should at least try to do a couple of deals in the area, because it'll be easier to find like a realtor or somebody that can do some comps for you. Well, no, it's the same. It's the same.
It is the same.
Yeah, it is the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like say you can market to other deals. The only thing that you'd have to do is have to find somebody to actually find you a buyer on the deals, and that's about it.
Yeah.
How do you decide what to sell the property for?
Well, that goes back to the ARV. I don't know if you've seen our YouTube video that we created calculating ARV, but if you haven't, you have to get with a realtor or find a service that's going to give you the correct ARV. And I'm not talking about like a Zillow or a Trulia or anything like that. We're talking about true MLS numbers, like a HAR, or whatever services may be in your area. I know some of y'all are not from Houston, but for Houston area, it would definitely be hard numbers and not the numbers that you go and you look up the zip code without logging in. We're talking about a realtor's login or a service. We have a service that, again, we have a treat for y'all at the end of this that is going to give y'all some of this in the future. But that's the way we figure out. We look up what?
ARV.
Oh, ARV, yes. ARV is after repair value, meaning after you've done all the updates and the house is in tip-top shape, what you can sell it for.
So let me just give an example of, like, we can just go over it again of what a wholesale deal would look like.
Okay,
and what
you want to do it
sell
on
it for. Yeah, we can do that. Hold on, let me share my screen again, guys. Sure.
I'll give an example of the house we're doing now.
Oh,
the new one.
I don't have those numbers. You just have to put in your left and right.
Yeah, and I just got to do the calculations on my phone because I'm not that great, even though I have a degree in engineering. But so is this upside down?
No.
Okay, so the property we're doing now,
Okay, there you go.
Okay. This is my first time using it, so bear with me. We purchased it Oh, see how you erase? I'm horrible. Okay, I'm gonna say the numbers and you write since you're an expert at it.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but okay. Boom. All right.
Okay, so purchase price.
Okay.
Oh Lord, you horrible too. Purchase price is 80,000. The closing costs were 6,200. And then you can put holding costs. Probably pay 2 months of holding costs. And holding costs, for anybody that not familiar with it, our holding costs is what we pay our lender. It's like a mortgage every month, and it starts the second month you have the property. And on this property, uh, the holding cost it is $1,000 a month.
Oop, wasn't trying to do.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Oh. All right, there we go.
And then we have the repairs, 25,000.
So 25.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that puts us all in at 112,000. And so when I looked up this property on when I looked up this property, when I tried to figure out, well, how much can I pay for it, I looked at houses. The way you figure it out is you look at houses in the area no more than a mile away from the house that you're looking at within the same neighborhood, and you want to see what those houses are selling for per square footage, right? And then you're going to look at the square footage of the house that you have. And so then after that, you want to run all these numbers. And sometimes you're not going to know exactly what closing costs is going to cost. But as you do deals, you'll start to like kind of know, around about how much it's going to cost you. And holding costs, you're going to automatically know that because you're going to know how much your lender is charging you percentage wise. And then repairs, you'll get good at that at estimating repairs as well. So all in, we're at 112,000. And when I ran the ARV again, when I looked at what houses selling for per square footage, my ARV I got for this house is 165, and 70% of the 165 is 115,000.
Boom. Well, kind of fast. Hold on. Right,
and
so,
as you can see, we're still within the 70% value, even after paying closing costs and everything. And if you remember the video that we put 165. If you remember the video that we put out on YouTube, at first we were not calculating that those closing costs and stuff into our 70% value, which some people don't. But for us, it makes the deal a little bit better because it makes our profits better in the end. So I hope that answers your question. I know we're a little long-winded sometimes.
We just want to make sure we're getting you the information.
How long does it typically take to find a buyer from the time you get the house in the contract? That depends. If you get the house at a great price, you find a buyer the same day.
Yeah.
But for us, we haven't. It hasn't taken us any longer than a week to find a buyer. Pretty much, when we put a house in the contract, pretty much know we can sell it. I could say one house I'm working on right now. And you wouldn't believe one house I'm working on right now. It's taking me the longest to find an end buyer, and it's because I'm virtually wholesaling it. It's in a market that we're not in. And I've actually put this house in the Facebook group. It's that Crockett, Texas house. But we found a buyer now. I've had it in the contract for I think 2 weeks now. But this is the longest I've held on to, and I was nervous because I'm like, this lady moving. I went there yesterday. And she was already packing up to move. And I'm like, oh, God, that's why you want to make sure that you get them at a decent price where you can move them because if not, you have people moving out. And sometimes people about to get foreclosed on. They counting on you to sell their house. And there you go. You can't get it sold.
Yeah. And that's why in the Facebook group, when I put like the steps of how to wholesale a house or how to get started, the very first line was build your buyers list.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you don't need like a super long list of buyers. You just need some really solid ones
and some collaboration. Dad, are you on the phone? My dad does real estate, y'all.
and case in point, so her dad does real estate.
He's not on.
That's fine. So her dad does real estate, and most of his flips come to us first because he know we can close and we can close fast.
Right.
So that's what I mean by you don't need like this super long, exhaustive list of buyers. You just need some really solid ones.
And be able to network.
Yeah, good 3-4 buyers that you know like buy and that they're not, you know, a bunch of tire kickers and they can close. Then that's pretty much all you need.
Yeah.
It's very rarely that he sends us properties like just good properties and we can't close on them. So and as a wholesaler, I'm sure that's a very good feeling to know that as soon as you get a property, the numbers are good, it's pretty much already sold.
And then when it comes, since he's a wholesaler, he's more so of a wholesaler. Now, when I get deals, I'm sending it to him to send his buyers list as well. And that's how we found the buyer for this Crockett, Texas house. Yep. He was the one that we collaborated on that. So he was the one that found the buyer. So I'm going to have to pay him some money, but it's all good. I may decide not to pay him. Not just
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question. But yeah, that's just the power of wholesaling and virtual wholesaling and having a good network, a group of collaborators, which is what we're trying to build.
Yeah.
This group, honestly, it's not for us. It's for you guys. So we're trying to just build it up as big as we can and just keep providing value to you guys. And just if we think of something that we know you guys need, you're gonna get it. And that's why we like post questions in the Facebook group, just asking about questions. We do that because we're trying to figure out what you guys need so we can help serve you guys better. That's all.
And if we're ever using terms that you're not familiar with, or if you ever ask a question and you feel like you didn't get a good answer, please let us know. We're not offended. I just want to make sure I'm like putting y'all on the right path. So I think I missed what gap funding is and how you get it. Okay, so gap funding, I'm not sure if it's a real big thing, but it's something kind of new to us. The whole term is, and our lender is the one that actually told us what the term was.
Yeah.
We had already been doing it, not knowing we were doing it. So gap funding, for us, the way we use gap funding is we acquire a property, we buy it, or even before we buy it. Say, for instance, you get a house and you don't have enough to cover your closing costs, or your lender is sometimes, like our lender, tripping on I'll be so mad at him, tripping on what the ARV is, and he doesn't lend you the full amount to do all your repairs. That's where the gap funder will come in, and they basically close the gap so you can get the deal done. So you may be $10,000 to $15,000 off, and you have a person that is willing to lend you their money to close the gap so you can get the deal done, lend it to you so you can do your repairs, lend it to you so you can pay your holding costs, lend it to you so you can pay your closing costs. Whatever funds you may be missing, they come in and close that gap for you, and you pay them interest on their money. You write up a contract, and you agree to terms for something that works best for both parties, and you just get the deal done from there. And how do you get it? You network. All this stuff is pretty much about networking. And we have someone in the group that's currently doing gap funding, and we're going to start doing gap funding as well. So, but right now at the moment, we have friends that are doing gap funding, and they told us to put it out there. Right now, I think they have about what they told us, I don't know the dollar amount, maybe they can put it out there in the group later, but they told us they still have some more money to lend. So Megan and Alicia, they can put it out there in the group. So that's how you get it. You basically want to just network to find it. That's how you find everything in real estate. Research and network.
Yeah, that's actually how we did our first flip. I don't know if you guys seen that video, but they're the people who we were talking about where we almost didn't do that deal and lost out on $62,000 just because we didn't know that we had to come up with the first 10 for the rehab. So that $10,000 could potentially have screwed us over from making $62,000. I'm sorry, that was not about to happen.
Yeah,
and it didn't. So
So Majin said further explain holding costs. Okay, so with our lender, and you'll find this with private money and
Hard money.
hard money. I'm sorry, I can't think today. Private money, hard money. These are short term, high interest loans. Our lender charges us 12% annually, meaning we're paying him 1% of the entire loan every month that we hold on to the property until we pay him the loan back.
Mhm.
So that's
like
what
the mortgage.
that's
like
what
a
our mortgage is. So okay, so Megan said loans up to 10,000. That's what they're doing right now. So y'all have something where y'all can close a gap of 10,000 or less. They got y'all. But y'all gonna pay them percentage on it, and y'all have to agree to terms, whatever length the loan may be. So anyway, the holding cost. So we're paying him the 1% every month because he charges us 12%. So basically, whatever the percentage is annually, you want to divide that about 12 months, and that'll give you what your holding costs will be per month. And we typically, because we don't hold on to our properties any longer than, I would say, 3 months at most, we don't get to any more than 2 payments with him. So the first payment is covered in closing costs. He charges us the first month in closing costs, and then the next 2 comes a month after we've held on to the property. Well, they start a month after we held on to the property, and we pay every first, just like a mortgage. Did that explain it good, Megan? Megan? Antoinette, did you get a good understanding what the gap funding was? Or is? Okay, perfect.
Cool.
What's up?
No, I'm just watching.
Oh, okay. That's our son, y'all. He's 16. He want to get started in real estate. We told him he got to carry the name. So he's watching us on YouTube. He supports his parents.
All right. So we got a couple minutes left. So I'm going to show you guys one of the surprises that we have for you guys. And this is going to deal with that whole ARV thing. We found a company that has true comps. Like, this is something that I've never seen before. So basically what they've done, if they've become brokers in certain areas so that they can provide a service to other people. So like in those other markets that we're talking about investing in, one of them is Dallas. So I know there's a couple people from Dallas in here, so this would be great for you guys, to where you don't have to reach out to a realtor or anything like that to get true comps. Like, those comps come from that system, and at the bottom it has like the brokerage information and everything like that, so you know that they're true comps. Hold on, let me skip.
And it also has leads too.
Yeah, it has leads.
I was talking about Foreclose Houston, but if you get this service, you don't even have to do Foreclose Houston. It gives you probate as well as foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. And this is the tool.
Yeah, it's called Propelio. So what I'm going to do is, in the Facebook group, I'm going to put a link to this so you can go there and sign up. So be straight up with you. It is an affiliate link, so we do get a little bit of a kickback. So I would appreciate it if you use that link. Just helping us out so we can keep giving you guys all this value.
But this is not just to get affiliate. But this is what we actually use now. I do have I have access to a realtor login, but this is actually what we use now to do our probate leads. Sometimes we still use Harris County just to confirm that Propelio is still working correctly, but we for sure use this every time for our comps.
Yep.
So as you can see, these are leads that we have.
See our leads.
Like, yeah.
So, all right, here we go. We'll go to, let's see. Well, let's go to lead list. I'm going here so you can see all the markets that this include. And I'm sorry about the people on YouTube. You guys can't see this, but I was able to see that this thing is recording. So hopefully at the end of it, it'll spit out like a replay so you guys can go back and watch it just in case you missed something, especially this part. So it covers areas in Phoenix, Arizona. It has Miami, Fort Myers, Chicago, St. Louis, Missouri, Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio right now. And I talked to the owner of it, and he said that they're always adding on to it. I can't remember the other areas, but there are some more areas that are coming on. So you can just select the market. Let's say I want to do Phoenix, and here are leads of pre-foreclosures right here. Just there's some probates in here. Remember I said we love probates. Right out here. And what you can do is you can just download them, send them to your skip tracer, and you can get all these numbers and have your cold callers call them right off the bat. How easy is that?
That's the easiest way to get started. Like, you know, if you just had maybe you can get started with less than $500 doing this. Like, because Propelio is I think $99. You pay $99 a month.
Yeah, something like that.
And skip trace, I mean, you want to pay about anywhere from 30 to 50 cents per skip trace lead. So
yeah. So what we were talking about is, let's say I want to do this address right here. So I'll copy that, and then I'll go to my leads, and I'll add a lead. I'll paste this. There we are, right here, and then we'll go next. So copy. And save. So it even shows you what the property looks like. And this is some information that comes up from public records, like the square footage and stuff.
Oh, and this is also a way to keep track of your leads, right? Because now when you get the contact for the person, you're able to add their information in. Well, you want to create a contact, you add all the information in, and it saves it to this lead, and you always can go back to it. And then for us, it's good because we have assistants, so we can always add somebody and put whoever we want to work on that lead in there. And also, if you have any documents, like one time we had someone send us some photos, actually for the Crockett house, we had them send us some photos, so we just added the photos of the inside in there. And so anyway, so to run a comp.
Yeah, so this is the most important part. This is why we paid for it.
And this is so easy. All you gotta do is push one button, and it comes up what the ARV would be for this house. So Internet, I hope you're still on. That's why I say we have a treat for you. You get, simple as that, know what you want. Well, no, this doesn't tell you what you want to mark the house for. You want to do 70% of this minus the repair. So this is what if you were the buyer and were fixing it up to sell, what you can possibly sell it for. Yep.
Real quick, real easy. So
this house has a lot of comps.
And that's good to have a lot of comps.
And these are the ones at top. You see, these are the ones that sold. And then down here, these are the ones that are currently on the market to be sold. And it shows you days on market, how long they've been on the market. And
if you click it, you can see the pictures of
the ones too. And if you click it, you can see what it looked like.
So, and this is important. So if you are interested in rehabbing and you go into this market where this house is, by looking at those pictures, you can see kind of what the competition looks like and where you need to be on your rehabs and get it sold.
Right.
So I hope you guys like that one.
Yeah. I knew that would help a lot of people out because that's like a big question with a lot of people. Well, how do I know how much? You know, some realtors don't like giving out the information. We had a hard time with that for like a year or so. Like, man, like this realtor side, I didn't want to be a realtor no more, and we don't have access. And
so when we found this, man, this was like gold. So like you said, you want to do like a mile away or half a mile away, and then the duration. So sold within the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year.
Yeah.
That kind of information.
So if you want to narrow it down even more, like, so you can come up with less comps. Like I said, that one had a lot of comps. You can narrow it down and see this one had 3 bedrooms. I don't know how many bedrooms this. Let's see. It doesn't show. So if it was a 3-bedroom house, you could put just 3 bedrooms. And if it was a 2-bath, put just 2 baths and just narrow it down even more to get. And I think the ARV went up. So when you narrow it down, you get more of a true ARV, and it only came up with 3. So these are the ones that's probably closest. See, it's only a 1/4 of a mile away.
That's probably the same street almost. Not. So that's one of the treats for you guys. I see we got a chat. Let's see. Trent sent over the Zoom to see the screen share.
Oh. Sorry, girls. I told you we're working. Sorry.
So from here, we got one more treat for you guys. We're actually putting together a mini course for you guys. It's going to be geared towards wholesaling because that's where we kind of think people should start. For the vast majority of people, I should say, should start there. That way you kind of learn how to run your numbers, you know, how, you know, what to look for when you're selling it and all that kind of stuff without all of the liability of actually owning it and rehabbing it yourself. So yeah, we're working on developing that mini course. Is going to give you like a chronological order. There'll be some more systems in there that we use that can help benefit you guys. So Propelio isn't the only system that we use. We have systems for actually making our calls because you don't want to use your personal. Well, I wouldn't want to use my own personal cell phone number to call people, especially like when you start growing and you have cold callers. We have a system for that. We have a system for our skip tracers, so you don't have to worry about finding a system for that. It's just going to give you everything you need in order to get that first deal done.
And something else I'm working on, and it's just for y'all actually. Like, I don't know. We can't stress enough how much we're doing to like give back because we couldn't find these type of resources when we first started. I have a meeting just tomorrow. My dad actually helped me my dad actually set it up. Meeting tomorrow. We want to start giving out like private money resource, hard money or private money resources to where not the masses aren't using the same one. I mean, we already have a person that does our lending, but we're looking to find someone that's going to work, you know, best for you all. We're going to tell them what we started. We're going to tell them about the group we started. We're going to tell them that most of y'all are just now getting started and see how can they help y'all. So that's something else we're working on looking for money for y'all to get started.
Yep. So you guys got any more questions? Anything else you guys want to know? Don't worry about the time. I know we've gone over by 2 minutes, but I mean, as long as we're getting you guys what you guys need, then we don't mind standing over at all. I just want to make sure you guys have a clear understanding of what we're aiming to do. Like I said, we're trying to get everybody that first deal. We're trying to answer all your questions. And like I said, the reason why is because we didn't have this. There's no reason why anybody should have to go through the same things we went through, going an entire year without a deal, with us having your back and being there for you to teach you guys all this stuff and give you every single resource that we have. There should be no reason for that. So we're just trying to eliminate stuff like that.
What was I gonna do? I'm still salty about that deal. I just want to show. Michaela, do you remember the street name that you sent me? Not much cap. No, well, this is one of the ways that we were saying, if you don't, wholesaling is the best way to get started if you don't have a lot of capital. It's a way to build up your capital to start flipping, and also a way to start learning how to do those numbers without, like Marcus said, without having so much obligation.
Right.
So we suggest start with wholesaling if you don't have a lot of capital. You can get something like Propelio and then find you a skip tracing company, start making those calls for less than $500. Yep. And I mean, to find a buyer, that doesn't cost you anything either. So
yeah, find a buyer doesn't cost you anything more than networking. And in that mini course, I'm going to show you how to find buyers. Like when I say buyers, I mean true buyers. Yeah. Like to go to public records and actually see, because when you purchase a house, it shows you who bought it. It even shows, like, if you even need private money in your area, it shows you who the grantor is and all that kind of stuff, and that's the person who's lending the money.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cost. So as far as the cost to get started, so you got to have a lot of something. So if you don't have a lot of money, then you got to have a lot of time. So the things that I'm telling you right now is showing you how to go like the manual way of doing things, because you don't have the money to pay for like super expensive systems to automate this stuff for you.
And if you want to get started, which we don't typically recommend, but if you want to get started flipping and you're saying you don't have a lot of capital, then make sure you partner with someone. Partner with someone that has the experience and has the cash. We're willing to partner with anybody if they have a good deal. Like the deal has to be good though, and we have the money. We have our linen already set in place. So if you have a deal and you don't have the cash, we can work out some terms so that works best for both of us. Again, collaboration is what it's all about. But that's the only way I advise anyone to get started in flipping. If you don't have a lot of capital and have never done a deal, but the best way to get started is to wholesale.
Yeah, if you don't have a lot of capital, just wholesale.
Or subject to.
Or subject.
Or subject to.
You can go that route too.
But subject to, a lot of times it comes from pre-foreclosures, and pre-foreclosures are going to be behind, so you're going to have to catch them up. So it is going to require more money than wholesaling. Wholesaling just requires you enough money to find the lead.
Yep. So basically, you're just out marketing costs. So I mean, to say you're on a shoestring budget where you're like, you don't have a lot of money. So like I said, Propelio is $99 a month, right? So that's a monthly expense that you can pay. And primarily to get the comps, you don't have to try to run around and find somebody to run the comps for you. And it has leads in there already, so you don't have to spend a whole lot of time finding leads. So that's $99. And then you got your skip tracing. That's roughly, it just depends. Like anywhere between 35 cents and like $1.
Dollar is a really good one.
Yeah, that's typically what people are charging.
Do your research before you decide to do a skip tracing company though, because some of them you may send in. We just read some before we got started.
Yeah, read the reviews, man.
Yeah, you send in 1,000 leads and you only get a couple hundred back, and you still have to pay for the whole 1,000.
Yeah. But we got a recommendation for that, so you don't even have to worry about finding it.
Right.
So you'll just be paying. So you have the Propelio, which is $99. You have your leads, skip tracing, which is like I said, anywhere between 30 cents to $1. So if we said it to $1 on the high end, and you have 200 targeted leads, because we only go for leads who have problems. I do not do absentee on the list because you don't know if they want to sell or not. There's really no motivation. So if it's like a pre-foreclosure, tax foreclosure, a probate, evictions, divorce, these are people who have problems. So you don't need this 4,000 lead list. You can get you a solid somewhere between 200 to 500 leads and be fine. So let's say on the high end, you're spending $1. So that's 200. So that's $300 that you're out of pocket, and you don't have to say you're even, you can't even afford to get the call service that we're recommending. You can get a Google Voice number if it's just you, and that's free.
That's what I got started doing.
Yeah, so
I was calling numbers.
You don't need a ton of money. That's one of the major things that I want to get across to people, because people have that misconception that you need a boatload of money. You don't, or you need like a 800 credit score. You just, those things aren't required.
Yeah. I posted something on my Instagram stories today. We're living in an age to where you don't have to go from point A to point B. You can get from point A to point C because we have so many resources, and the internet is such a powerful tool. Like you don't have to go through the hard work like our parents and grandparents say you do. I mean, you don't have to work hard, you work smart.
Yep.
So you all know, Propelio is something that we actually use, and we're doing deals outside of Houston, like we said, or at least trying to do deals outside of Houston, like we said. This deal is in Dallas, and this is the one my friend sent me. This is the one I was talking about earlier. She saw for sale by owner sign, and I had already told her what to look out for. I said, I don't want you to send me leads if you see like a realtor name on there, because it's already listed on the MLS. If you see it for sale by owner sign, send it to me. She was like, I saw it. And I had to go take a picture of the house and take a picture of the sign. And I was like, okay, cool. Not knowing what these numbers were going to tell me. As you can see, $557,000. And the for sale by owner sign that she sent me, they were only asking $250,000, y'all. Yeah. I'm so sad.
Yeah, that could have been a whopper, man.
Yeah, and the best thing about this is this house, it was a duplex. So I could have sold it for even more than this.
Yep.
So, but anyway, feeling still hurt about that. Michaela, look out for me some more properties, girl. So yeah. Trent, I think this is one that was in Dallas County. But anyway. No problem. No problem.
No problem, man. If you think that's something, wait till this mini course drop.
Yeah.
Like,
so be on the lookout for the mini course.
And it's gonna be free.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that or not.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Completely
free. You want to put out some out there so y'all have some resources and everything. Yes.
I didn't even know what that was when she sent it to us. When we ran the comps, I was like,
nah, this can't be possible, man. I was like, nah, this is not what this house is worth. And I went to like the appraisal district, and I was like, this is the house.
Yep.
I started like going to maps trying to make sure it's in the area, and everything panned out. I called him, and what should have happened was she sent it to me on Friday. I should have called him on Saturday. I called him on Sunday. Wrong mistake. You want to call them as soon as you get them. That was my mistake, though. But anyway, I don't want to keep y'all over too long.
I think we got one more.
No, I think that's it.
How do you determine the neighborhood?
Oh, how do you determine the neighborhood is worth buying a house to flip to sell? We don't look at neighborhoods.
Yeah, we don't do it by neighborhoods. We just do it by profit.
We don't even do it by side of town. People are like, what side of town you focus on? Any side.
Everywhere.
We really okay. So one thing though, we really don't do the inside loop right now in Houston, and it's just for one reason. It's really competitive.
Typically, because we have
the one we
just
got.
We couldn't pass it up. I mean, it was a deal we couldn't pass. So
yeah, the one we just got was in inside the loop, but we typically have stayed on the outside of the loop because inside the loop at the time the prices were outside of what we want to invest. We typically like to stay 250 ARV and lower. And also, it's super competitive. Everybody wants the third ward house. Everybody wants third ward house.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants, by the way, Trent, that's where the house we just got at, third ward. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants third ward house. Everybody wants the heights. Everybody wants, everybody wants the hip fun areas that are
you can make big profits.
That you can make 6 figures on the profit. And we just wasn't about that at the time. But hey, now any neighborhood is good, as long as the days on the market is good, and as long as we can turn a good profit. So you don't look for a neighborhood. You just want to see if you can sell it and sell it fast.
Yep. So is that it? We're all good. We answered everybody's questions. You guys good? Good.
Yeah.
Give some ones in the chat if you got everything you needed out of this live Q&A that we put on for you guys. I just want to make sure that we met your expectations. Let me get some ones, some thumbs up, some claps, some something.
And we're long-winded. I'm so sorry we kept y'all up. We're supposed to only been an hour. Yeah. Hey, yay. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well.
And make sure I want y'all to really start participating in the group. Like, we want feedback when we post those questions out there. When we ask them questions, it's typically so we can decide what kind of information we want to present to y'all next. What kind of YouTube video we want to do. What we want to make the topic of our next live stream.
Yeah. So
that's why we asking y'all questions. And we want to see what kind of problems are y'all having that y'all not telling people about. Because it's gonna help us give y'all the resources y'all need. It's also going to help somebody else that is afraid to ask the question. So make sure y'all put any issues y'all having, any success y'all having. Tiffany, shout out to you for closing on your property tomorrow. You go, girl. Love to see people winning. Yes. So anyway, thank y'all for joining. Thank you so much for all the questions.
Matter of fact, Tiffany, when you do close, I'm going to send you something.
Yes.
Just for you closing. I got something on the way for you.
For sure. So that wraps up our session. We're gonna try to do live streams. I think we said once a month.
Yeah, we're gonna try to kick them off.
So make sure y'all post it in the group so we can decide. We want to actually have a topic, but we're gonna have a Q&A section as well. But we want to have a topic where we can discuss. Yeah.
So this first one was just to get to know you guys, and you guys get to know us, and just kind of get like these surface questions out the way, so you guys can start doing these deals. I can't wait for the group to be full of people just killing it. So, all right, guys, we're gonna head on out. That's it.
Thank y'all for joining.
All right.
Peace.
I don't know how to stop it. Oh, it's just like us.
In meeting,
Oh,
maybe.